When we think about odd time signatures, we tend to think of bands like Rush, King Crimson, or Tool, and we might not think of a band such as the Foo Fighters as being someone who would use odd time signatures in these popular songs that have been dominating the radio for close to 30 years now. But in fact, Foo Fighters are no stranger to using odd time signatures. If you take a song like Times Like These, which was a major hit for them, the verses in that song are in 7. Now, the average person who's just, rocking out to the song isn't going to be aware of that. But if your band plays that song, watch the people on the dance floor, and as they try to, it's really kind of funny watching them sort of navigate the missing beat that drops out because it's in 7. If you've ever had one of those grocery carts that has the weird wheel that's kind of like this sometimes, that's what I see when folks are trying to dance to that. But let's talk about Monkey Wrench, because Monkey Wrench has an intro that tends to cause a good bit of confusion among musicians. And the most common way that I hear to navigate that intro is folks will say, yeah, it's a little weird, but just count 4 all the way through it, and that will get you through it. And to that, I would say that if you are able to make that work for you, more power to you. If I try to count 4 all the way through that, it does not work, for the simple reason that most straight up rock songs, the snare is on 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very common pulse. 70 years of rock music, that's the foundation of it, right? And if we do that, if we try to do that in this song, by counting 4/4 from the very beginning of the song, after you get past the intro, it's not going to work, and you're going to end up with the snare being on 1 and 3, which will make the song, if you're counting to it, will make it sound or make it feel upside down. And if it feels upside down, it's not going to be fun to play. You're going to be fighting it the whole time. So what I'm going to do is, just to prove that, we're going to count through it with going through 4/4 just to prove that that won't work. But first we have to lay down a couple of ground rules. And the first is that, yes, in this song, the snare does fall on 2 and 4, but also there are these accents which show up in the verses, I think roughly every 4 measures or so, and the drums go blah, blah, bam, like that. So it's a snare accent on beats 3 and 4, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then you have this big this crash that happens with the snare and the crash on beat 2 of the next measure. Now that may throw folks off because we're used to hearing these big accents come in on the 1 of the next measure. This actually happens on beat 2, and that's because there's a rest. The way that phrase is put together is that 3, 4, 1. On that 1, nothing happens. That's a quarter note rest. And then you come in on beat 2. And that's just what makes that song, one of the things that makes the song sound unique. It's part of the rhythmic structure of the song. Okay? So we have to go into this knowing that those are facts. These are non-negotiable. 3 and 4 and then that thing happening on 2. Okay? I want you to believe me. Okay? I'm going to play along here. I'm going to 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay? So if we can all agree on that. Okay, so now I'm going to take it back to the beginning, and I'm going to count 4 all the way through this, and watch how upside down it gets, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Totally upside down. Snare was on 1 and 3 instead of on 2 and 4. And that just feels weird. So as what did Judge Judy used to say? If it doesn't make sense, it's not right. So I guess if Judge Judy were a drummer, she'd say, if it doesn't feel right, it's not right. So here's how to actually count it, the part you've been waiting for, okay? What this is this is in 4/4 for the most part. And it's at 172, which is a pretty brisk tempo. So a measure is very short. A measure in this song is just 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? The intro has 8 measures of 4/4, followed by 1 measure of 3/4, and then it goes right back to 4/4. But here's the tricky part. Right after that measure of 3/4 is that thing that we just talked about where there's a pause on beat 1 of the next measure. So everyone tries to make that 1, and that doesn't work. Okay. So when we get to that end of 3/4 and we go back to counting 4/4, just let beat 1 go by as a rest. Come back in on and let 2, 3, and 4 fall where they're supposed to. Snare's going to end up on 2 and 4, and all will be right with the world. Okay? So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It totally worked. Imagine that. Let's try it again, just to make sure. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Works like a charm. Perfect. So there's the brilliance of Dave Grohl and his knack for taking odd time and somehow making it work, making it feel like it's not odd time. That's the brilliance of songwriting, when you can do something that's very sort of rhythmically sophisticated, but make it sound like it's totally like normal and simple. Now, as far as this counting thing goes, okay, if you're a person who can play this song without counting, well, then you don't need to count. If you can just naturally feel this without having to count, more power to you, and that's great. There are some folks who need to count, and listen, I'm a person who sometimes, when it gets tricky, I will need to count, but I don't count all the time. I only count when I need to, and then I only am using it until I no longer need it. When I no longer need it, I'm not going to count, because I just want to be on stage having fun, rocking out, and playing with feel and emotion rather than having to count through something, right? So this whole thing is really only of use if you need it, or if you're just someone who likes to know how things work, right? And that's me. I like to know when there is something tricky and unique about a song, I want to know why. And counting things out a lot of times will answer those questions. So I hope this was helpful to you, and have fun. Thanks for tuning in.